Semeba Aishi was born in 1836, just like her mother, Anahiki, and her grandmother. First Aishi, she suffered from a condition which caused her to feel a perpetual emptiness, as though something crucial was missing from her life. Her mother and grandmother assured her that one day the condition would vanish, but only after that. She had met her soulmate, just like her mother. Semeba searched desperately for a way to pass the time until the fated day when she met the man she was destined to be with. Her mother thrown herself into woodworking, but Semeba's delicate hands were more suited for textile work, spinning fibers into yarn, weaving, and knitting that yarn into fabric, dyeing, printing, and finished the fabric one day. Semeba met a man who made her feel things she had never felt before. In an extremely literal sense, and this man's presence, lifelong feeling of something crucial is missing, vanished. She understood innately that man was her soulmate, and that losing him was not an option. She resolved right there to make this man her husband. The man was not unpopular, and 7 other women were vying for his attention. Semeba mother and grandmother prepared her for this day, teaching her various ways to kill and get away with murder without suspicion. Using the knowledge given to her, Semeba eliminated her competition, just as deftly as she weaved tapestries, what she had back to her rivals, and built up enough courage to maintain her composure around the man. She loves his feelings to him. The man was deeply distraught, after so many of the women in his life had mysteriously vanished, and was desperately in need of comfort. He accepted her feelings evenly, and wed with ever suspecting she was a serial killer. Unfortunately, Semba's happiness would not last long. Shortly after her daughter turned 1-year-old, Semba's husband abruptly fell ill and died. Her husband's death absolutely crushed her within seconds of his passing. She picked up a knife, raised it to her neck, and prepared to end her own life. Her mother and grandmother, both sitting nearby, watched silently and made no effort to stop her. They both understand without her husband, Semba's life was doomed to spend the rest of our life suffering from the empty, hollow sensation that she had endured for 18 years. They knew the feeling all too well. They could not blame her for choosing death over a lifetime of perpetual feeling. At the exact moment Semba began to push the knife into her neck, her daughter began to cry, "Oh, Gai." She hesitated, considering whatever she had any right to orphan her own daughter, to rob her daughter of 2 parents in one day. She lowered the knife. Even though her husband was dead, there was still a piece for her alive in this world. Her daughter Semeba decided to stay alive. Although she had chosen to continue living, she was never the same after the death of her husband. She was completely and totally dead inside, almost like her grandmother once was. She visited herself at every moment of the day, as if being idle for a single moment would allow the pain of her husband's death to creep in during any moment. When she was not caring for her daughter, she was weaving textiles. She spent some yarn to work with and sewed and weaved and knitted, and then when her latest fabric was completed, she immediately began on the next one. She became like a living machine, eyes blank, as if there was nothing inside her anymore. She a commitment to her daughter in a single hobby. She spun up some more yarn to work with, and then she sewed and weaved and knitted and knitted, and weaved and sewed and sewed and sewed and sewed and sewed and weaved and knitted and weaved and knitted it, and then sewed and sewed and sewed and sewed and weaved and knitted and weaved and knitted and weaved and knitted and weaved, and then she died. She's the third Aishi Part 2 later.